Thank you.
Let us just briefly go through your primary functions as Director of Governance at the Ministry. What will you tell us are your primary functions, your core responsibility?
Basically supervision, staff development, capacity building, monitoring. Yes.
Now, how do you carry out your role as a supervisor in relation to the area councils?
Yes, I carry out my role in respect to routine supervision, which we plan to conduct on a quarterly basis.
When you say you plan to conduct, have you been conducting them? Are there any records of supervision that you have done in the past?
Yes, there are.
Can you tell us whether there are documentations to that effect?
Yes, there are.
Can you provide that?
We have the inspection reports. Okay.
Now, when you say that you conduct a supervisory role in relation to the area councils, does it mean you have staff ready for inspection whenever there is a need to conduct one?
Yes, I have staff.
How many do you have under you?
At present, we have a skeletal staff.
Can you please explain what you mean by a skeletal staff?
I have 3 at the moment, yes, because one has been redeployed.
So these 3 are responsible for conducting inspection?
Yes.
In the entire country?
That's right.
Has that been done effectively?
It depends on how you look at the word effectively. But it has been done. And as I said, in some instances, we failed to conduct.
Now, in the last year, how many inspections have you done with respect to the area councils?
Last year, 2022, I can't remember offhand. Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe
how about 4?
2. I say 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
How about the year before that? That must be 2021 when you were appointed as that director. Is that correct? 2021.
Again, offhand, I can't remember. But
so will I be fair?
As per our plan, is quarterly basis.
But have you been meeting up with that plan?
Yeah, sometimes we plan and it doesn't execute. It's not executed.
And what are the circumstances leading to you not achieving your plan in relation to your inspection role?
Yeah, sometimes maybe engagement in other activities.
Like what activity?
For example, state activities.
Give us example of state activities.
A typical example is like I am here at the commission now.
Right.
You see, so I cannot move from the commission to go and do inspection. So
you are saying, as long as you cannot move yourself as a director to go and conduct inspection, then there will not be any inspection?
No, that not necessarily me going. Like in the it doesn't have to be, if I am not there, it hasn't,
right.
Work has to cease to take place. No, it has to continue. Whether I'm there or I'm not there, work has to flow.
But you gave an example that you are now in the commission, so therefore you cannot go and inspect. That's what you said, unless I am wrong.
Yeah, I was just trying to portray, citing an example or instances whereby that may not happen. But one that I can remember was it coincided with one of the presidential tours or whatever, and our vehicle was impounded for the tour, and as a result we couldn't proceed.
So you have a vehicle that is assigned for inspection?
Yeah, the entire unit have 1.
And you have 3 staff under you?
Right now, yes.
Yes. And then from your answer, it is correct to conclude that it has not been functional. The inspection role or the supervision role you are supposed to do has not been functional, has not been effective over the years.
As we desire, yeah.
What?
As we desire, as we wish.
Very well. So now you have your role as a director of governance, and you have clearly outlined what that role entails. And then you now double as the secretary to the commission. Can you tell us more about your core mandate as a secretary to the commission?
Dealing with correspondences from the commission going out and from the outside world coming in, as well as minute taking during their meetings.
So all correspondences from the commission, local government service commission, should pass through you and be taken to any destination. Is that correct?
Meant for the commission.
Yes.
Yes.
But
for
sometimes
transmission to the chairperson.
Very well. But sometimes we see correspondences passing through the permanent secretary.
Yes.
And why is that?
Anyway, I don't think I'm in a better position to provide that answer because I didn't authorize it that way.
No, you don't have to authorize it. But then you hold two positions.
Yeah.
One as a secretary to the commission, and the other position as a director.
Yeah.
Now, and you have told us that you were supposed to serve as a communication link between the commission and the local government area councils. Is that not correct?
Certainly.
But then there are numerous times wherein correspondences do not pass through you. Is that correct as well?
Yes, there are certain instances where correspondence don't pass through me, and they don't pass through me directly, but indirectly.
What do you mean by indirectly?
Like they have to pass through the permanent secretary, then to the commission.
And that is because of the directive that we've already discussed with my co-counsel regarding the PS, indicating that it must pass through him.
You're absolutely right.
Now, tell us about who you are answerable to, because we want to understand whether there are any duplication of work, if there's a need to actually set up a different secretary as well, or maybe there's a conflict, because who are you answerable to in your capacity as a director of governance?
I am answerable to the permanent secretary.
And who are you answerable to in your capacity as a secretary? To the commission.
To the commission.
Now, how do you explain that? Is there any conflict in that? How do you explain your functions in respect to these two portfolios?
Yeah, certainly. There are times when there could be conflicts, because if the commission say left and the PS say right, then I am caught in a situation whereby it's difficult for me to sideline with.
And what would you recommend would be the best would be the best procedure to adopt in relation to that?
For the future, perhaps for the commission to get its own secretary.
Is that not what was been advised by the PSC, by the Public Service Commission?
Probably, I'm not sure, because this is what I inherited.
Very well. So now, when complaints are being channeled to the commission, usually we see that they've been channeled through the permanent secretary. Is that not correct?
Correct.
And I will make reference to a communication with the ombudsman, in which it was clearly highlighted issues with respect to responses by the commission in relation to why certain issues were not being addressed. Now, I know this may not have been your time. It's in 2020, on the 4th of November. You may have a look at this document. It is in relation to the ombudsman writing to the commission with respect to a complaint of wrongful suspension.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, when the ombudsman wrote, the commission wrote back, and that is what you hold now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you please provide the citation for the commissioners of the document?
Abulaiyan's complaint of wrongful suspension/dismissal against the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs.
Yes, I will specifically refer you to paragraph 2 and 4. Please read paragraph 2 in relation to the response by the commission.
What happened to other officers mentioned in the audit report that were negligent in the performance of their duties?
Yes.
The Local Government Service Commission only responds to and deals with cases forwarded to it by the Ministry of Lands through the Commission Secretariat. Consequently, it dealt with only Abulaiyan's case, as that was the only So as that was the one forwarded to it for action. The Commission does not take the entirety of the audit reports for action, but rather relies on the issues brought to it by the respective councils through the Ministry of Lands.
Now, at paragraph 2, the reply of the Commission was that they can only deal with matters that are referred to them by the permanent secretary, by the ministry. Is that not correct?
Yes.
So in effect, they cannot have access to any documentation or any matter that may be of importance once it is not being referred to them by the ministry.
Yes.
You can as well go to paragraph 4 and read paragraph 4.
For what happened to staff that failed to retire impresses given to them during the audit period? Answer. As mentioned above, the Local Government Service Commission did not relate to the audit report to deal with all the queries raised therein, but only concerned itself with matters forwarded to it for consideration by the Ministry through the Commission Secretariat. Therefore, the issue of the other officers that failed to retire impress on a timely basis was never forwarded to the Commission for consideration. This could perhaps be best clarified by the respective councils and or the ministry.
Now, going by these two paragraphs, you will agree that these are matters of very serious concern raised by the auditors, highlighted as well by the ombudsman, which needs urgent attention. Is that not correct?
Correct.
Now, you being the director of governance must naturally have access to these files prior to it being taken to the commission. Is that not correct?
Yes.
And the permanent secretary as well, considering his role, should have access to these communications.
Yes.
Now, when you now wear your other cap as secretary to the commission, the same commission is now saying that they haven't received these files, so therefore they can't treat them, they can't address them. Very serious issues for that matter. What will you tell the commission in relation to these issues?
Yes, as they said, when correspondences come to the commission through his office, he'll always minute them to me to forward it to the commission. When that happens, then they are forwarded to the commission. When they are not minuted to me to forward it to the commission, then in that case I have no mandate to forward it to the commission.
So you are saying that if they are not, who are you referring to when you're saying they minute it to you? Who is the they you are referring to here?
My superior.
Can you be more specific?
The head of the institution.
Can you be more specific again?
We know the head of the institution.
I will not be here guessing as to who is the head of your institution.
The permanent secretary.
Very well. So there are impresses that were not being retired. They have been flagged by the Auditor General. Yeah. And you have highlighted and you have agreed that these are issues of very serious concerns.
I agree, certainly.
And they have not been transmitted to the commission for those matters to be addressed. Now, as a director of governance, how do you address these issues?
Yes. From the point of the commission, it will be difficult to address it because it's not before them. But at the level of my directorate also, as I said, I have a reporting line. I have a place somewhere where I take my instructions to do or not to do certain things. And if I get the blessing to proceed, then I proceed. If I don't get the blessing to proceed, it makes it difficult for me to proceed.
Did you not have access to the audit report that was being referred to?
Yes, I have access to it.
So you were aware of the issues raised by the auditor in that audit report?
Yes.
And so therefore you are saying to the commissioners here that unless you have instructions, you cannot act on those of those malpractices and suspicious fraudulent activities being highlighted by the auditor.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So basically, what then do you do as a director? You only act on instruction by the permanent secretary. Is that what you're saying to the commissioners?
Yes.
So do you have policies in your directorate, guidelines in your directorate as to how to address issues when they come, or you're only there to act based on instructions?
Yes, we don't have policies regarding that.
There are no policies, there are no guidelines.
No.
So that, in effect, will be fair to say that your office is just more or less like, I don't know even how to put it. It's not functional at all. It's not an effective office, considering your responsibility as a director.
Not necessarily so, because when issues come, he brings it to our attention, and then we move from there. But of course, there are certain issues, as you can see, they don't come directly to us. It will take a while before they come to us. We'll have to maybe discuss it with the minister before getting to us.
Because if I refer you back to your statement, which you wrote and it's been exhibited, you said that your responsibilities include you formulate and coordinate the implementation of policies and strategies on decentralization and local governance reforms. That's number one. Responsible for professional conduct, supervision, and staff development and training. Collaborate with all stakeholders in regulating local governance and decentralization standards. Monitors the implementation of the Local Government Act. Ensure proper utilization of resources. Ensure local governance and decentralization standards and adhere to by local government authorities. Now, you did not tell us in your statement that these functions can only be executed when they have been approved by the permanent secretary.
Yes, certainly.
Now, can you explain why your new answer now that the fault lies with the office of the permanent secretary, because unless you are directed, you cannot perform?
Yes, some issues or many issues we have to be instructed to take action. And where it matters, he'll always indicate it for us to proceed and take action. So
who should formulate policies and guidelines in your directorate?
The ministry.
The minister should.
And
what role do you play to that effect?
We participate in the formulation.
You only participate?
Yes.
Do you, if you see that there are no policies and there are no guidelines and there are no strategic plans, and do you just sit there and wait for instructions, or can you trigger them in any form by writing a memo to the permanent secretary, for example?
Yes, where it's necessary, we write a memo.
Was that ever done in this situation?
Which one?
In this situation when you are saying that there are no policies, there are no guidelines, there are no strategic plans.
No, there are strategic plans.
Okay, but you don't have...
We have a policy, but not approved.
Not approved.
On decentralization, yeah.
Now, again, so the chairperson made reference to an issue with respect to one PART2, which I draw particular interest in. So here you have a situation wherein it involves a staff that claims to have some medical condition, and some issues were raised as well regarding office space. And you were saying the action that was taken by the commission was to redeploy that staff to KMC from Banjul. Is that correct?
Yes, that was the last action taken.
Now, please have a look at these documents, folio 123 and 124, in relation to the response by the Banjul City Council. Can you just read to us what the response from Banjul City Council was in relation to Ms. or Mrs. Tal? And this is before she was actually transferred to KMC.
BCC's position on PART2. We have communicated to PART2 after we wrote to our CEO about her coming back after 7 months' absence, that we are not the right authority to decide on her fate and future in Banjul City Council. However, as a council, we have moved on, currently registering huge gains with a great team spirit that will all be jeopardized with Fatou Tall's coming back to the ranks. Her tussle and conduct in the past will further disrupt and derail the flow of work. Our position is and remains, after 7 months' absence and at times disrespecting the management of Banjul City Council, Fatou Tall is not a team player, and her coming back with Banjul City Council will disrupt everything positive that has been built and cemented in her absence. She has faulted our request to write to us to apply for a sick leave last year, and her lack of compliance with Council's directives has been brought to the attention of the Local Government Service Commission sometimes in the past. Banjul City Council is not ready to welcome her back, and this is our position and a matter we put to you for a decision and an action.
What can you tell the commissioners about that letter?
Yeah, this letter is like on the side of BCC, they've already drawn their conclusion in respect to the deputy CEO.
And their conclusion was that they do not want her back to the council. Is that correct?
Yes.
And they have highlighted reasons as to why they don't want her back as at the council.
Yes.
And the response you did was to transfer her to KMC.
Yes.
What was the rationale behind that decision?
No, according to the commission, after analyzing the situation, since they wanted to accord her a hearing, but as I said, she was out of the country at the time, and that was impossible. So eventually, because of this writing from both sides, the commission came to a conclusion that the best line of option to pursue was to transfer her.
If you say they wanted to accord her a hearing, what do you mean by they wanted to? You mean they were just thinking about it, but no action was done in relation to trying to reach to her?
No, because they want her to come over and schedule a meeting whereby she will be present. And
Mr.
then
Mr. Gomez, maybe we become a bit formal. We are dealing with an institution.
Okay.
In the person of the commission in relation to local government service. And of course, correspondences are not being made informally, are they?
No.
So it is not just sufficient to say they want to.
Okay.
It's either efforts were made to write to her, or they never made an effort to write to her.
No, efforts were made.
Do you have documentation to that effect that they wrote to her and she never replied back?
No, I remember one of them they wrote was like when they went through her correspondence and observed differences in various signatures that purportedly belonged to her. Then they instructed that we write to the police to invite them to this fingerprint or whatever to help them study and ascertain whether all these signatories are pretty the same that belong to her or they were different.
Was that done?
I'm not sure whether it was done, but
No,
I remember it was discussed.
Can you advise us in relation to whether you have documentation to that effect?
Okay.
Okay. Are you going to produce that documentation?
Yes, I'll see if we have documentation we produce it.
But you can't tell us right now. I believe it is your tenure as secretary.
Yes.
Was it not?
Yes.
But then you don't know whether you have written to the police to that effect or not.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to come in to say yes, we are written, and when I go to check the records, like I don't write. We write to the office of the permanent secretary, and then they write.
No, but have you written to the office of the PS then?
Yes, we are still on the same. That's why I said I don't want to commit myself and say yes, we have written.
But Mr.
And when we check the records, it's the reverse.
Very well. The issue of having a difference in signature would probably be your observation as a commission. But that may be right and that may be wrong. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the first point of contact probably would be to contact the individual that is sending the correspondence. But have you done that? Have you written to her to tell her that these are the findings? We are not even sure that you are the one communicating to us. Can you please confirm to us? Was that done by your office as a secretary to the commission?
No, it wasn't done because he wasn't in the country.
No, see, you can only communicate to an individual when they are in the country. Is that what you're saying?
Well, maybe we don't have or the commission doesn't have her address to write to her wherever she is.
What position was she occupying at the time?
Deputy CEO.
And what is the proper channel of communication to your staff? If you want to write to your staff, to the CEO or deputy CEO, how is it being done?
You mean our internal staff?
Yes, yes.
If they want,
yes.
To the CEO.
So now, if you want to write to the deputy CEO, how do you do that?
Yeah, it should have been to the CEO.
Now, why did you not do that? So your reason that she was not in the country at the time is not tenable.
Okay.
Is either you agree with me or you don't agree with me?
I agree with you.
Very well. Now, then one may be in a position to conclude that in fact there were no genuine reason as to why she was transferred, but probably you have acted on the reply to the letter that you have read with respect to BCC not wanting her back in the office at any time.
Yeah, maybe.
Very well.
Can we hear your answer? What did you say?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now,
I just want to ask a question with respect to BCC. We have a letter folio number 144. Do you recollect one Ablai Nyang, Director of Finance, wrote to the ministry to intervene on his behalf with respect to the issues at the Banjul City Council?
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, the issue of Abdullah Nyang wasn't a one-off. There were a series of correspondence between the two parties. That is, Abdullah Nyang on the one hand, the council itself, the ministry, the commission. So there are a series of correspondence, and even the ombudsman. There are a series of correspondence.
Now what happened? Tell the commission what actions you took and what were the issues.
Yes, that was during my time, but I was able to have a clue of some of the issues because sometimes he reports to me, that is Abdullah Nyang. At some point, I think he applied for, I'm not sure, a sick leave, but he was out of the country for treatment. And then BCC was also placing him on administrative leave, and that he should resume on point time so and so. And when he's about to resume, they'll again write that his leave has been extended. So it was on and off, until eventually the matter finally ended up at the office of the ombudsman. And I remember I was privileged in a meeting that took place between the council, that is, sorry, not the council, the commission and the office of the ombudsman in respect to Abdullah Nyang. And at that meeting, I must admit, as clearly stated by the office of the ombudsman and the commission admitted, and which was Abdullah Nyang's continuous cry that he wasn't accorded an opportunity for a hearing. And looking at our labor laws, that is a requirement. So he wasn't being heard, so that the commission will be in a position to hear his side of the story. That will have helped the commission to come up with a final decision. So that was a lapse on the side of the commission.
So, can you say also is the same lapse of the commission against the unlawful dismissal, which is contained on folio 96, with respect to the former CEO of Kanifing Municipality, Mr. Pa Khalifa Sanya?
Probably, I wasn't in at the time, but probably. But even for this Abdullah Nyang, I remember after this dialogue, after this meeting with the ombudsman, When the commission returned, they wrote to him, they offered him the opportunity to be heard. You see, but unfortunately, he wasn't, up to now, he wasn't heard.
Now, what can you tell this commission about the hoarding of digital tax collection device for more than 3 months by the Basse Area Council? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I just read it last week also, that one of their collectors has had his device hidden, and that is the device that they use to collect rates and taxes.
So when did you hear about that?
Not long, last week or week before.
Well, let me refer you to folio 157, which is a letter dated 19th of April, 2023. So as Director of Governance, you are telling the Commission that you did not have access to this information? You just had this information this week?
No, I didn't say this week. I'm not sure which one, but I think I just got this not long ago.
Okay, take a look at folio 157, the letter dated 19th of April 2023. And tell the Commission what steps you took to remedy this situation.
Okay. Yes.
So
forwarding of digital tax. That's
yes.
right.
Did you have the opportunity of coming across this letter in your office?
Yes.
Did you read the letter?
I read it.
Did you note all the issues that have been highlighted in that letter?
Yeah, I know what has happened.
No, what I mean is, did you note all the issues that have been highlighted in the letter?
Yes.
For instance, the monies that were collected, the machine was used and tax was collected,
That's
you
right.
understand, by the collectors using that machine which was hoarded.
Yes.
So what steps did you take?
No, as can be seen in the letter, the Permanent Secretary wrote for us to discuss.
So have you
take a
discussed?
question on it.
Have you discussed this issue?
No.
So this was written since April. So you've not yet discussed, and you've not yet corrected the situation.
No.
Thank you. Let me have the file. Council, can you proceed, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, please have a look at this document. It is a letter with respect to disciplinary action against one Omar Jaite. Now, I'm not sure whether this matter arose as at the time you were Director of Governance or the Secretary to the Commission. But again, since you occupy the office, we want to know the situation with respect to this matter. Can you tell us what that issue is all about?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm just seeing the letter for the first time, so I won't be able or in a position to say what it's all about. I'm just coming in contact with the letter.
Can you read to us the letter?
Request for disciplinary action against Omar Jaite. The establishment committee was informed of an alleged fraud committed by the Debt Unit Assistant Manager Omar Jaite. The alleged fraud was reported by Mr. Jonathan Grooves, General Manager of Ngala Lodge, who in a letter dated 3 July 2020 sent to the Lord Mayor explained in detail what transpired between him and the accused person when he visited the hotel to ask for council's rates payment. Ngala Lodge was supposed to pay to council $143,248 as per the council's demand note. However, during the course of the negotiations, Omar raised the amount to $343,298.85 bututs and demanded that an amount of $100,000 be paid to him directly, whilst a check in the sum of $143,298.85 butut be drawn in KMC's name. This will entitle Ngala Lloyd to have a discount of $100,000. The matter was forwarded to the committee and we began investigating the matter. During the course of the investigations, evidence was provided that a check in the sum of $100,000 was written in the accused person's name. The committee invited Mr. Jete to a disciplinary hearing on 6 and 14 July 2020 to ascertain the facts. In that hearing, he confessed to have committed a fraud. In light of the above, the committee hereby recommends that Mr. Jete be dismissed accordingly. Attached are supporting documents for your password.
Do you know whether the said Omar Jete is still working for the area council or not?
No, I don't know. Unless we check the payroll or we engage the council.
Do you know the steps that were taken by the commission in relation to this matter?
I wouldn't know because I wasn't the secretary to the commission at the time.
Yes, this was just in 2020. You came as secretary in 2021. Mm-hmm. It is not that when you come as secretary, because your answers seem as if since you have started work as secretary in 2021, everything that happens prior to your taking over office does not really matter to you. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily, because it will involve like going through the files to ascertain whether action was taken or not taken.
But have you done that?
No, I haven't done that.
See,
honestly, I haven't done that.
It appears as if it is a normal, usual day in your office. That you go in the morning, sit in your office, have directive from the PS, and if you don't have any the direction from the PS, then there is no work for you for the day. Basically, you don't tell me you occupy an office, but what you do primarily is to wait for instructions from the permanent secretary. Yeah,
not necessarily.
But you must have known the outcome of such a serious situation. Here you have an individual who there's a report of fraudulent practices, and therefore there's action that must be taken, and you don't even know whether it has been taken or not.
Yeah, since it was forwarded to the commission, my assumption will be action must have been taken.
So we want to have a report on that issue.
Whether action was taken or not.
Yes. Okay. And again, this is just one example of situations wherein there are fraudulent actions reported, and then there are no actions probably being taken by either your office as a supervisor or as an office mandated to inspect the functions of either councils, or your other office as a secretary to the commission. Because it appears as if some of these issues are just a daily recurrence within the area council, and there are no actions being taken. You know why I say that? Because if you go to, if you look at the audit report for the year ended December 2021, I'm not sure whether you are at any time familiar with that audit report.
Yeah, it depends if the report is forwarded to me.
So you don't have access to these reports unless they are forwarded to you?
Yes, because the National Audit only sent one copy and send it to the Permanent Secretary.
But yes.
So from the Permanent Secretary, if he send it to us, then we'll have access to it.
Was this audit report ever forwarded to you? The audit report for the year 2021 with respect to KMC?
I'm not sure whether it's their last report. If it is the last one, it's not forwarded to us yet.
But this was since 2021, and just to highlight one similar incident, where it was highlighted by the auditor on presented fraud allegation report, that the investigative report for the fraud allegation at the council was not presented for audit review. The allegations include the following: a loan of 12 million secured for the purchase of a parcel of land for council senior management, alleged forgery of a letter captioned guarantee purchase of land advance agreement purportedly written by the council. Now you have dealt with this matter with my lead counsel. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the matter.
Yes.
When this matter arose, what steps were taken? You mentioned that you sent an inspection team.
Yes, we deployed an inspection team.
When you say we, who deployed the inspection team? Was it you or was it the
ministry?
PS? Well, was it you in your capacity as a director of governance, or was it the permanent secretary?
The permanent secretary.
So who were the staff of the inspection team? Your staff?
Yes.
The three you have highlighted?
It was my staff and staff of internal audit of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs.
Now,
the team of two.
How many matters of this nature have you investigated as the director of governance?
Is this KMC one?
Just this KMC one?
Yes.
Since you assumed office as a director since 2021?
Yes, I can't remember orders of this magnitude that came to my attention.
It doesn't have to be of this magnitude. Fraudulent claims of any amount will in effect cause financial loss to the government of the Gambia.
Certainly.
And that you agree. So you don't have to wait for it to reach a certain magnitude.
I agree.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so you must be aware of so many financial malpractices or fraudulent complaints being forwarded to your office.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
Correct.
Which one can you tell the commission, apart from the 12 million, which a team was sent to KMC by the permanent secretary, and not your office? Which one have you acted upon?
There's one at Brikama.
Brikama?
Yeah.
Can you please tell us about that?
It involves one Aliu Sane, a revenue collector or risk collector, who also was involved in the same.
And then what happened?
Fraud. Then we sent out a team.
We as in who?
The ministry. We sent a team to go to the council.
Again, the permanent secretary sent a team.
I don't know how.
Mr. Gomez, see, we must
commission. If I may put it that way.
We must have a functional institution, and I don't want to tell you that probably you're not doing your job right, but then if since 2021 you have been assigned to an office, and there are numerous complaints. If you go through all these complaints, and that's just KMC, there are 8 area councils, and you want to tell me over 3 years you occupying that office, you haven't for once investigated a matter that has been brought to your attention, then I wonder whether there's a need to even have an office like yours at the ministry, because it's not effective in any way.
This one was in the ministry. It was the commission, because the permanent secretary referred the matter to the commission.
That's what I'm saying. My point is, then what is the role of your office as the director of governance? You have told us already that one of your role is to serve as a supervisor, or an inspector with respect to the affairs of the area councils.
Yeah, if it was minuted to my directorate, then we will take action. But,
no, but you have to sit down.
The commission.
You have to. You see, it's easy to sit down and blame the permanent secretary as much as you want. I want to. He was here before you, and he has answered questions regarding some of these inactions. But now you are here. It is really easy to just say, well, it's not me, it's the other individual. But when you told us what your responsibilities are, you never told us that your actions are premised on directives being given to you by the permanent secretary. But now, is that your position, that you can only act when things are being meted to you?
No.
Then why did you not act in the numerous complaints of fraud, inaction, lack of a proper governance structure by all of these area councils on a periodical basis?
Yes, as I said, because when he received it, he minuted it for the attention of the commission. Normally, if it is for our office, my office, then he say, DL director for your action. Then we take action. But here it was sent to a different body.
Now, let me draw your attention again to the same audit report, wherein the Auditor General found out that that there was an unused hammer mill, or better still, bottle crusher machine, which was purchased at the amount of $1,143,198, 19 bottles, and it also involved other tax or charges being paid. But this is a hammer mill that was being purchased, probably wasn't in fact being needed, and wasn't being used at any given point in time. 1 million plus. You are supposed to supervise the area councils. You are supposed to inspect their day-to-day functions and so on and so forth. An issue like this was highlighted. What have you done as the Director of Governance?
No, we haven't done anything because I don't think I was aware of this hammer mill.
Go ahead. You haven't done anything?
Yeah, I can't remember hearing anything about hammer mill from the...
It is in the audit report, but you've already said...
I agree it's in the audit report.
You've already said you haven't had access to the audit report.
Yes.
Because it was not given to you by the PS.
Yes.
And now, it now brings me back to the same question I asked earlier. How do you execute your function as an inspector?
How do we execute it?
Yes. Do you wait until you have reports or audit reports, or do you have strategic plan as to when and where you go? You said it was on a quarterly basis here and there.
Yeah.
But you haven't been doing that. Because if you have been doing that, then you would have noticed some of these malpractices.
Yeah. Some of them, like when the reports come to us, the boys act on them. They go through them and extract key findings that form part of the supervision exercise that is to be conducted. Now,
Again, when it comes to the collection of rates and taxes, when you will know that there are millions of dollars that are not accounted for by virtue of having unpresented payment vouchers here and there, the GTS machines and so on and so forth. And so this brings us back to the level of corruption, I dare say, that are happening within the area councils. Can you tell us whether you, in your function as a supervisor or an inspector, did come across some of these complaints at any given time? Not even talking about the audit report.
Complaints such as?
Unpresented vouchers.
Yes, we do come across that.
And what is your normal reaction to that in trying to address these problems?
We write to them and ask or request them, even on the ground while during the inspection, they request whoever it concerns, whether the finance manager, whether the cashier, whether the accounts clerks, to provide or produce them.
Can you give us an example when that was done by your office?
No.
Because you haven't done it. You haven't done it.
No, where it happened.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you done that?
The staff on the ground, the inspection team on the ground, will
Yes.
engage whoever it matters, whoever it concerns, and ask him to produce it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There must be documentation to back what you are saying. Is that not correct?
Yeah, there should be documentation.
Is there any documentation on effect?
I'm not sure, because this could be during their discussions.
No, but again, if you have addressed such an issue at any given time, you would have known that so and so and so matter came up, and it was addressed by my office in this manner.
Yeah.
And I am telling you that that has never happened, because you've never addressed such a situation during your 3-year tenure as the director of governance. Now it is up to you now to prove me wrong.
Yeah, you may be right.
It's not like I may be right. I think I am right. But you now tell me whether that is in fact the case or not. You now tell the honorable commissioners.
Yeah, maybe that's the case.
In fact, that is the case. Mr. Gomez, see, there wouldn't be any use to go through all the complaints, because the answer would be the same, that you haven't done your job. Probably your answer would be because I only act based on instructions by the permanent secretary. But it brings us back to the same issue, that if you micromanage things, how do you expect to have any progress in relation to the activities being done at the level of the area councils? How do you expect there to be, there will be progress? So people occupy offices, they get paid salaries, but they don't do their job. Let us go again to another issue with respect to scholarships. Are you aware that some area councils will give scholarships, educational scholarships to their staff, like the CEO, deputy CEO, to go and pursue any form of educational degree or diploma? Are you aware of any?
Yes.
Can you give us an example of one?
Not scholarship per se, but we always ensure that there is always a budget line for capacity building of their staff.
Budget line at what level?
Capacity, no, we don't identify a level. We just make sure that they have some funds with a budget line on capacity building.
So you're saying that is for the area council?
Yes.
And so when they have this budget line, are they in a position to give scholarships to their staff to go and pursue their educational career?
They can, but it should be channeled through the commission.
Very well. Now, the reason why I am bringing this issue up is not because, of course, we expect that there has to be some form of trainings and developments here and there. But then we see quite often that these area councils will write either to the permanent secretary or the commission whenever there is a transfer being made, and then they will perhaps contest some of these transfers. And one of the reasons are that because the particular staff is being given scholarship, so and the individual has been bonded, so they don't want the individual to be transferred. So he has to be there or she has to be there for 3 years or 4 years. Have you come across issues of that nature?
Yes. I can vividly remember that of Brikama Area Council.
You can answer the questions from the chairperson, and then we'll proceed with that.
Yes. Mr. Gomez.
Yes, Madam Chair.
It is true that in the in the advent of the new government in 2016, officials that were unlawfully dismissed were paid compensation, right? They were either reinstated, some were reinstated, some were paid compensation.
Yes.
You are aware of that?
I'm aware of that.
Correct. Now, the issue of Pasala Jang, he wrote, and at folio 142, he said, after 4 years of following the ministry, he was being sent back and forth between the ministry and Banjul City Council. Yeah. And that the new government selectively was paying, deciding to pay some and deciding not to pay others. In his case, what have your office done to pay what he deserves, if he deserves to be paid?
Yes, my position is that, as I'm not sure whether is indicated, but I remember the permanent secretary wrote for a discussion on the issue.
So did you discuss?
No.
You did not discuss?
No, we didn't discuss that. But my position is, I already instructed one of my staff, we engage Ministry of Justice, let them provide the ruling, the judgment ruling, also the judgment ruling. The judgment ruling rules in his favor, then government has no choice, and then we write to Ministry of Finance and request them to pay him.
But in the same letter, you requested, he went to your ministry and you told him what he was supposed to do. And he sent in all his documents together with this ruling that you are talking about. So you didn't see that letter that he wrote attaching all his documents?
Yes, I saw it, but I remember engaging a legal person not long ago, last month, and there's something that she recommended we should engage Ministry of Justice to provide that.
Where is that information? Is it in writing?
No, it's not in writing.
So it's verbal?
Yes. It was when I took the file to her and said, this is what has become before us. So, can you legally advise me what to do? And she came up with this.
So that is of recent?
Yes.
From 2016 to date?
Yeah, that's of recent. Okay. Just last month.
So how do you now appreciate what he said when he said that after 4 years of dragging this issue, it shows the lack of standards, poor operation, and incompetence in the system. And he further said it is individual attitude and not the institution of government. Did you respond to this letter? And what is your view with respect to this that he has stated in his
remember
letter?
there's one of his letters that we once responded. I can't remember which one, but we once responded to one of his letters.
Nothing in the file indicating that you responded to this
Yes,
letter.
I think one of the ones we responded, there was a missing document that he was supposed to provide, and we wrote for him to provide that, and I think he provided that. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, what is left now is to write to the Ministry of Finance and attach all necessary supporting documents for government to pay.
But this particular letter that I am referring to, this letter was received in your ministry 15th of September 2022, and there is no letter to the effect to show that action was taken. And you have told this commission that you are yet to discuss on these matters, not so?
We are yet to?
You are yet to discuss with the permanent secretary on his case?
Yes, when he minuted that...
you should discuss?
Yes, discuss it.
Okay. And let me just quickly talk about the issue of Are you aware of the land issue between KMC and Mr. Suku Singate and Chosan Company Limited? The letter indicated that Mr. Suku Singate was offered a particular land at the Backwater Woodland, and he was supposed to use that land for a housing project. And the said land was reallocated to Chosan Company by KMC. And he wrote requesting the ministry to intervene. Did you know anything about that?
No, because my office don't directly deal with land issues.
Thank you. And just let me just finish. Yes, also, can you shed light on the claim about this letter was minuted, and it was minuted to you. This is folio 140. It's from the Karawan Area Council, which talked about claiming for royalty from Senegambia Bridge funds generated. what action have you taken pursuant to what was requested from the area council in Kerawan, given the issues they have highlighted in the said letter? And it was minuted to you for discussion. Did you discuss with the permanent secretary on this issue?
Yes.
And what is
we
the
discussed, but we are yet to have a stalemate, because those of you also may be familiar with that part of the country. Prior to the bridge, it was a source of revenue for the council, in that we have business functionality or operational in that part of the town. But their claim is, with the coming of the bridge, that means they have now lost that revenue that they were generating from the operations there. So they are claiming that they should be benefiting from the proceeds of the bridge, whatever percentage. That has been their argument, which we are engaging the relevant stakeholders to listen to them.
Now, this letter was addressed to you people 9th of August 2022. Now, you are telling the Commission that no steps have been taken from August 2022 to date?
No, steps have been taken, but we have no breakthrough yet. Where we had breakthrough is the sand mining. The sand mining was also similar to this. And we had a breakthrough, and now they are enjoying some proceeds from the sand mining. So we are here to have a breakthrough on this.
Also, tell us about what happened in the matter of the Bara VDC and some business owners at the ferry terminal with respect to the land issues there. Can you tell us something about that? And this also was minuted to you. This is folio 139.
Yeah, the one I can remember is the VDC demolishing some stalls. I remember it was a weekend, it was even a Saturday or Sunday.
Take a look at,
and the chairman called my attention.
Take a look at the file,
okay, and
confirm whether what you are telling this commission is exactly what is contained in the said
yeah, I remember
letter.
What I this okay. Yes.
Yeah.
When the chairman of the council called me to draw my attention to this, I told him, give me a few minutes, let me call the chief. When I called the chief wasn't there. He was somewhere in Combo, according to him, but he assured me that he's going to handle the matter forthwith and get back to me. So I told the chairman, just give me a few minutes. I'm engaging the chief on this matter, and then whatever happens, I'll update you. So the chief intervened, and calm was restored. But equally, we deployed the police to ensure that sanity prevailed. And the police were able to pick up the brains behind this problem.
No, Mr. Gomez, the issues that these letters raise is not about the rioting and the demolition. The letters raise fundamental issues.
Okay.
As an office responsible for the activities of these councils, my question is, did you take the necessary steps to make sure or to avail the council the opportunity to be able to do what they think is the right thing to do, as is contained in that letter?
Yes, so sorry, the one I'm talking about I think is different from, it may be different from this. No.
So it means what you were telling the commission is different from that letter?
Yes, it's different from this one.
Yes.
This one was tolls that they were dismantling.
Yes, so this is what I am asking you. What did you do as an office to help the council do what is right? Because they have written to you to intervene and to support them in doing what is right. That is what I'm asking.
Yeah, this letter didn't reach me.
All right, thank you. Can I have the file, please? Now, can you tell me the issue about Usman Keita, who is a graduate in planning and design and have written to your office after graduating for 2 or 4 years, he has been following you for you to regularize his employment. What have you done with respect to that?
Yes, the problem was resolved. The first one, we called both parties, the CEO and he himself, to the office, and we spoke to them, and the CEO was instructed to go back wherever he stopped with respect to paying his allowances that were due to him, to pay him all the areas up to date, whatever was due to him. Equally, he was invited by the commission on the matter, and the commission did the same. So his status has been regularized.
Do you have any evidence to that effect?
Yeah.
That you will provide to the commission?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Council, please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. We were discussing the issue of scholarships being given to staff.
Yes.
And then that we have seen affects the transfer of CEOs and deputy CEOs. Now, I will hand you over one letter. It's a petition. It's folio 146. Yes, can you please give us the citation of that letter, the reference?
No, there's no reference on it.
So please tell us about the heading is petition, right?
Petition, yes.
Yes, just read the letter.
With reference to your letter dated 27 May 2021, reference blah blah, and caption official transfer, the Brikama area councillors at an emergency meeting held in the council's chamber on Wednesday, 2nd June 2021, have resolved to appeal for the reconsideration of the Local Government Service Commission's decision to transfer our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Modu Jonga, to Banjul City Council. Prior to his appointment as CEO, Mr. Jonga has served the Brikama Area Council in different capacities, rising to position of Director of Administration. His hard work and dedication motivated Council to accord him study leave with salary, thereby bonding him to serve the institution for at least 3 years continuously after his return. Since his appointment as the CEO on the 1st November 2019, Mr. Jonga has galvanized the Brikama Area Council into a development-oriented and people-centered institution over a short period of time. Currently, a lot of development projects, both at council and community levels, are ongoing, and as a result, any change of leadership will seriously distract and derail the efforts of the council.
We also have a similar one as well, marked 147 folio. This is in relation to Kerewan Area Council. Yes?
KAC/admin ADM/09/01/folio 118. Addressed to the Permanent Secretary, re-transfer of the Kerewan Area Council Director of Finance. With regards to your letter dated 18 May 2021, reference that, for the transfer of my Director of Finance, I am hereby putting the following points in the consideration for your perusal to maintain him. 1. I am a new Chief Executive Officer posted to Kerewan Area Council recently and need him in order to acquaint myself into the running of the institution, particularly the finance department, and of his knowledge to the institutional memory. 2. He is also sponsored by the council to run a bachelor's degree course in business administration with tax crown at a tuition fee of $140,000 already paid by the council. and receipt copy of payment here in attached, and have still started finishing in 2022. And Council also bonded him for a period of 2 years, 2021-2022, of which he signs and here in attached. In view of the above, I would like to maintain him till further in order to acquaint myself with the day-to-day running of the finance department and also give him the chance to complete his course in time without interruption. I look forward to your cooperation and consideration.
And then with respect to similar numerous applications or letters by different area councils in relation to these scholarships given to staffs, and staffs being at the risk of being transferred, the commission made more or less like a rejoinder reply to that effect. So they replied to all of these concerns, and then that is a letter you have been given right now. Can you read that letter to the commission?
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands, cessation of staff transfers. It will be recalled that the Commission recently sanctioned the transfer of the Chief Executive Officers of Banjul and Brikama Area Councils and Directors of Finance of Kuntaur and Kirawan Area Councils, respectively. 2. Having received petitions from some of the affected or concerned officials, I am to inform you that the Commission has now taken the decision to put on hold all the aforementioned transfers while it sits over them with the view to come up with a final decision on the matter.
Now, just to tell you that all those documents have already been exhibited, Madam Chair. What folio number is that document? The one you just read?
One, I'm not sure which one. We have two here. One is 5, the other one is 151.
Very well. Now, do you know whether this issue have been resolved by the Commission? You can hand over the documents to the clerk.
Yes, it has been resolved because the transfers didn't take place.
No, but the issue regarding the fact that you have staffs being given scholarships, and therefore you have the area councils writing time and again to tell the area permanent secretary or the Commission that they don't want a particular staff to be transferred because they have been bonded for about 3 years and so on and so forth. And it is a prevailing issue. So whether it has been, there has been decision made to that effect?
Decision
as to whether the mode of transfers when someone is being bonded. What is the current position of the Commission or the Ministry as to the rules governing when someone is being bonded, whether they can be transferred or not?
Yes, I think the position is as long as they are serving the councils, that shouldn't affect their transfers.
Are you saying that is that your opinion, or basically it is the position of the Commission?
Yeah, I think it's the position of the Commission because, like, if they were to be transferred to somewhere completely different from the councils, then we can understand their position.
But what we have from the last letter you wrote, you also read, with respect to cessation of staff transfers, is that they just put a halt to all the transfers that have been affected by a bunch of applications being brought by area councils because staffs were being bonded, and so they cannot be transferred. What the Commission said was that the Commission has now taken the decision to put on hold all the aforementioned transfers while it sits over them with a view to come up with a final decision on the matter. So I think I'll be right if I say that the cessation of staff transfers was not a final decision, but there is an intention to deal with this matter once and for all as to what will be the rules governing when someone is being bonded by their area councils. Yes. So what is the current situation?
The current situation, I don't think, apart from halting, because this halting was just for a period of time to enable the Commission come up with a final decision whether to proceed or not to proceed.
So there's no final decision as to whether someone can be transferred if they are bonded?
No, there was no final decision.
And we have had the permanent secretary, and he had told us that the reason why they transfer staffs is to kind of provide an effective governance so that someone will not be too comfortable in a particular office. Do you share the same opinion?
Yeah.
Is that why staffs are being transferred generally?
In some cases, yes.
So what do you think is the reason as to why staffs are generally being transferred periodically?
I don't think I can provide a specific reason, but I know for people like those who are in the finance department, there's need to transfer them periodically. Instead of one being stagnant as director of finance in one position for 10, 12 years. For me, I don't think that is right. And we need to work on that.
Very well. We will take this matter up with the chairperson of the commission. Now, let's go.
Before you proceed, let me ask you what.
Please proceed.
Now, Mr. Gomez, as one of your responsibilities, you indicated that your role is to collaborate with all stakeholders in regulating local governance. That is what you stated in your statement, right?
Yes.
Now, there was a notification of protest for the tender in respect of the supply of office furniture lot 1 to the KMC. And this was written, the letter was from Ministry of Finance, stopping the proceeding, the proceedings relating to that particular tender. And the permanent secretary was also notified. You, whose responsibility is to coordinate with other stakeholders, did you reach out to the complaints review board secretariat to find out what decisions emanated from that? As somebody who supervises also the councils.
Yes, we engaged the deputy CEO and he responded.
What was the outcome?
Unless I produce his response, it's in the files.
Can you kindly produce?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. You can proceed, counsel.
There was also a complaint with respect to staff involved in active politics. Were you aware of this?
Sorry, come again.
A complaint with respect to staff that were involved in active politics. Were you at any time aware of this?
Yes, Masakonto.
What can you tell us about that?
Yes, that was improper.
You can make reference to these two documents. It's folio 28 and 63. Yes, please, you can proceed.
Yeah. That was to do with staff of Masakongo Area Council, when the CEO wrote complaint that some of his staff were openly engaged in partisan politics, and as civil servants, the law doesn't permit us to do so. So they were strictly warned and listened to.
Yes, and then the commission requested the names of the staffs that were involved in actual politics. Can you now read the letter with respect to the complaint and the response from the commission?
Okay. Staff involved in active politics. The above subject matter concerning the following listed staff of Masakongo Area Council: 1. Lamin A. Job, National People's Party; 2. Lamin Fati, National People's Party; 3. Sunkarik Sedikan, Citizens Alliance; 4. Lamin Fofana, United Democratic Party; 5. Ismaila Dabo, National People's Party. Attached is a memo that was circulated to all department heads for onward transmission to their various personnel, and a council resolution at a council meeting convened on the 15th September 2020 at the council chambers. It is clearly stated in the government orders that civil servants should not involve themselves in active politics. The council realized that during the last regime, some council staff were involved actively in politics, jeopardizing their effectiveness in the execution of their functions, and will not want a replication of such situation in the council system. Okay.
Now, do you know whether this issue was ever resolved at any given time?
I know they were written to desist, and we didn't receive complaints again from the CEO.
From the CEO. Very well. So now let's now discuss the issue of with respect to.
Sorry. Can we have that letter, please, indicating that your office took action and wrote to that effect?
Yes.
We would want to have that letter, please.
Okay.
Yes, very well. I will
Let me
talk
just,
about it,
before you proceed. Mr. Gomez, were you aware of the issue of the Chief Executive Officer and the Finance Director from the Janjanbureh Area Council? This was minuted to you, and it's folio 46, which is talking about a contract that was awarded to one Alaji Konta at the tune of 465,000, and the council members disagreed with it, and there were issues that were brought to your attention. How did you resolve, or what are the issues, what are the steps you took in addressing these issues? Because we have noticed that there are numerous sums of money that were disbursed, such as $45,000, $100,000, etc. So can you tell us what you knew about this issue? It's contained in folio 46.
What's the heading again?
It is the permanent secretary was written to by the Janjanbureh Area Council with respect to the activities of the Chief Executive Officer and the Finance Director of the Council on contracts that were issued, which were $465,000 and another one of $300,000, another one of councillors collecting $45,000 each and $100,000 respectively.
No, I can't recall this case.
So, meaning that you did not remember, even though this was minuted to
me.
All right, thank you.
Can't remember.
Council, you can proceed.
Now, you have mentioned yesterday, and it is of interest to me, that the issue regarding Senabu Martin Sonko at KMC, and in the matter of Kajali Chani, Deputy CEO KMC, I think you told the Commission that the Ministry did not forward the report to the Commissioners. Is that what you said?
Yes, this was mentioned by my boss at some point, that it wasn't forwarded to the commission. He didn't forward it to the commission.
That the PS didn't forward it to the commission?
Yes.
But then the commission, in one way or the other, did actually have notice of this issue?
Yes, the current commission, yes.
Yes. So, again, what I don't understand is the commission made several correspondences to the Deputy CEO of Carnifing Municipal Council, instructing him to hand over to Senator Martins. Yes. But then here you have a situation wherein the PS did not forward the matter to the commission, as far as you are concerned. No, then go ahead.
This was the commission before this one, before the current one.
Yes.
That it was forwarded to, not this current one.
So
yes, I think it was forwarded.
So there were two commissions in relation to who sat over this matter. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Now tell us a brief background of what you know about the Senator Martins case after an inspection team was sent.
Yes, when the inspection team did their inspection, they came up with a report that was presented, outlining their findings of the report that was to inform the next phase of the intervention, if it were.
Yes. So again, are you aware as to whether when instructions were being given by the commission for the instatement of Senator Martin Soko, whether that was adhered to?
No, it wasn't adhered to.
I am aware of the fact that at some point, again, the PS confirmed that when the area council KMC refused to accept Senator Martins, they tried to install him by using the police and so on and so forth. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, that was the case, as he said.
Yes. So, as a secretary to the commission, why was this matter not dealt with extensively until it has to result to a court situation?
Yes, because I think KMC forwarded the matter to the court.
Yes, I'm saying prior to that, whether the commission ever sat on this matter.
No.
The commission never sat on this matter. So when these letters were being written by the commission, one of the letters is dated 8 February 2023, and the heading is recommendation for an interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co. to proceed on administrative leave. I will want you to read this letter. It's folio 112. Read this letter to us and.
Okay, it was addressed to the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Carnifing Municipal Council. Subject recommendation for an interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and co. to proceed on administrative leave.
Yes, please proceed.
They were responding to a letter that was written.
Yes.
That's why it contained that
yes.
heading as from the council. I invite reference to your letter that dated 6 February 2023 pertaining to the above caption subject. The Local Government Service Commission at its meeting of 8 February 2023 have noted with great concern your response, which is misconstrued. It is important to point out that the Office of the Chief Executive Officer is the administrative arm or wing of Council, and therefore all correspondence should be channeled through the Office of the CEO, as opposed to your assertion for the Commission to write to the Lord Mayor. The Commission's response is based on your letter conveying the recommendation of the Establishment Committee. Therefore, you should have equally transmitted the Commission's response to that committee. Furthermore, it is important to note that Carnifing Municipal Council has already taken the decision to indefinitely suspend Senator Martin Sonko and co. based on Council Resolution of 26 July 2021 without the approval of the Commission. Equally important is the fact that we have failed to address the contents or substance of the Commission's letter. Rather, your response to the Commission's letter of 2nd February 2023 only dilated on procedural matters. On the basis of the above, you are urged to take the necessary administrative measures or procedures and convey the Commission's decision as contained on its letter of 2nd February 2023 to the Council without further delay. Based on the decision of the Commission, as the competent authority mandated to deal with staff matters, it is hereby resolved that Senabu and Co. are to resume work with immediate effect. By a copy of this letter, Mrs. Senabu Martin Sonko and Co. are hereby instructed to resume work with immediate effect.
In fact, please
Yes,
proceed. Very well. In fact, Mr. Yahya Jammeh, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer, did write a reply to that effect, and then wherein he was given reasons as to why certain things weren't being adhered to. This was dated 6th February 2023. You can have, should be a reply as well to the second letter, 2nd of February 2023 letter, which is similar to the one you read. Can you read the reply of Mr. Kajali, the Deputy CEO, with respect to the instructions by the Commission to hand over to Senator Martin?
Address to the Chairman of the Commission, subject recommendation for interdiction of Senator Martin Sonko and Co. to proceed on administrative leave. I write to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 2nd February 2023 on the above subject matter. May I respectfully bring to your attention that the decision to send Ms. Senabu Martin Sonko and Co. on administrative leave was a resolution passed by General Council. It is gratifying to note that as Deputy Chief Executive Officer, I did not have any power, authority, or mandate to restrain Madam Senabu Martin Sonko and Co. from resuming their duties. Since the CEO's reporting line is to the Office of the Lord Mayor, and also the CEO is under the directives, control, and guidance of the Council, it is very fitting, I believe, to readdress your letter to the Office of the Lord Mayor regarding the immediate resumption of Madam Senabu Martin Sonko and Co. for duties.
Now, my question is, in your capacity as the Secretary to the Commission, did the Commission sit over this matter? Again, I ask.
Yes, the Commission sat over this matter.
What?
The Commission did sit over this matter.
And what was the nature of the sitting? What was put into consideration? Were there any people called to address the Commission on certain issues? Because this is a very serious matter,
Yeah.
and which has caused some national issues of concern. So basically, what was the nature of the sitting with respect to this matter at the Commission?
Yeah, the sitting was not only to address this, but part of the agenda items for that meeting was to respond to this letter, but no other party was invited other than the commissioners themselves.
So there was a standoff. There was a big issue regarding the reinstatement of a CEO. You have a deputy CEO who actually is with the opinion that he cannot adhere to the directive of the Commission because probably he's answerable to the area council. That is the mayor, and so on and so forth. And now you are telling me that all that was being deliberated upon was the letters received from the area council.
Yes.
And that is as far as the Commission went
Yes.
to address this matter. And so the decision to reinstate Senabu and to give instructions to the deputy was just premised on the letters that were being written to.
Yes.
What could have been done, as in your opinion, to better address this matter at the level of the Commission?
Yes. Engagements were done. They invited him That is the deputy CEO. The commission sat and invited him to appear before them in order to respond to this.
And then that was not done?
That was done.
You mean they...
He came for a hearing.
Who came for a hearing?
The deputy CEO, Kajali.
And then?
He was invited by the commission to come.
How about the CEO?
Can't remember she being invited. No, she wasn't invited.
Was the mayor or any office representative invited?
No.
Now, at the level of your office as at the ministry, your position was there was no complaint sent to the commission. Is that correct?
Complaint from?
With respect to this matter.
It was sent to the commission.
But you said earlier that it was not sent by the permanent secretary. Is that what
No,
you
I'm
said?
referring to the former commission,
the
not
previous,
the current.
the previous commission.
Yes, the previous.
Now, usually, can you tell us, can you advise us as to what is the current situation? I know there's a court case going on. Is it the case that, as we speak, the officer in charge of KMC is Kajali, or is there an acting CEO as we speak?
No, the CEO herself is in council.
And who is the CEO currently?
Senabu Martin Sonko.
Is Senabu Martin performing her functions as a CEO, or is he just occupying a seat in the council?
I'll say occupying the seat.
But she's not performing any function with respect as a CEO?
Yes, because the request has been sent to Kajali to hand over to her, and she didn't hand over.
Very well. I think I will stop here for now, Madam Chair. There are so many questions to ask in relation to the audit reports, but then I would want to give the commissioners time before we go on a lunch break to ask some questions.
Yes. Yes, let me just... Mr. Gomez, there was a letter that was minuted to you for action. And the heading of the letter is alleged purported defrauding the council by obtaining money unlawfully from taxpayers. This is in KMC, Kanifing Municipal Council. And the petitioners are Zakaria Kamara, Babu Jammeh, Naomi Cham, Ismaila Silla. These were collectors. Collectors from the Trade License Department. Can you tell us what action you took with respect to this matter? Because it was minuted for you to take further action.
Was it minuted to me or to the commission?
It was minuted to DLG.
Yes.
Who is DLG? Is it not you?
Yes.
Yes. Please forward to the Local Government Service Commission for further action. Was action taken with respect to this?
Yes, we've invited them. They weren't able to come all. One of them came, Zakaria, to appear and defend his case. But when we found that he was wanting or they were wanting, then they just have to go as recommended by the commission.
Pardon?
By the council, rather.
Pardon? I did not get what you are saying.
I say we invited him to the office.
But I listed 4 names for you. So it's only one that you called?
Yes, he was the one that was coming constantly.
So
on behalf, according to him, on behalf of the others.
But all of these people wrote. They were complaining that the decisions taken against them was incorrect or was not based on procedure. So, and you decided to deal with only one person and not all the 4 people?
Yes, I remember one Zakaria Kamara, he is the one who has been constantly coming.
So what is the outcome of the decision of the commission with respect to these collectors?
Yes, I think for them they were redeployed to I don't know whether race unit, but to another unit, which the CEO or the management of council has that authority within their mandate to move staff from one point.
So there was no report, there was no investigation to prove the allegations, whether it is right or wrong, before they are redeployed?
Yes, I can't remember whether the commission, I don't think the commission treated the matter.
So the commission did not take action on any of those issues?
On it, yeah.
And there was also this letter that was minuted for necessary action, which is the petition by women of West Coast region against their nominated representative for the revocation of the nomination of one Binta Mas. So what has the council done with respect to that?
Which council is that?
Brikama Area Council.
Revocation of Binta Mas.
Yes, folio number 35.
No, I can't remember.
You can't
what,
remember.
Yes, what
you can't
action
remember
was.
discussing it at the commission? You can't remember?
No, no.
Thank you. Also, there is a petition from yes, the folio number 31 that you were directed to effect the transfers of some certain personnel, which is in folio 31. What was the effect of these transfers or reinstatement of the suspended finance director, Mr. Babukar Lena?
Babukar Lena.
Yes. What can you tell the commission about that?
Yes, I think what I understand regards to he was at Basse Area Council.
Yes.
So I think they ended up paying him his gratuity and let him go.
So do you have any record or minutes of all this that we are asking to be forwarded to the commission?
Yes, I'll check.
Because
I think it's the first commission. I'll check the files.
Because nothing is attached there to show what the action of the commission was.
Okay, unless I check other files, whether there's anything to do with him. But I remember he was paid his lump sum and he was relieved of his assignment.
There's also the issue of Lamin Sanya. What happened with respect, because this was a letter that was addressed to the permanent secretary from the Banjul City Council. What happened to his case? What did the commission do with respect to the case of Lamin Sanyang, a former employee of Banjul City Council?
What is it by? Is it Lamin Sanyang Messenger? It's the only one I know. Is his portfolio stated?
Well, what it says here is that
otherwise,
a lawyer wrote to that effect that represented counsel in the above case for the retrieval of the former employee's file.
I can't remember ever handling this, or the commission ever handling or treating this matter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that this is a convenient point to stop, and I'm being informed by counsel that there are a lot of questions that you need to ask further. We may stop here for prayers and lunch. We will reconvene after 1 hour. Thank you so much, and we can rise.
Good morning.